That's right.
So you go home and tell everybody you know, never give a red cent to these folks until they actually stop cancer instead of promoting it.
Is everybody ready for our next stop on the tour? All right, we're going to go up here and we're going to take a right on Pine Street and we're going to head back towards Market and visit one of our favorite PR firms. So let's get the lead banner.
Let's tell the stock exchange we want health before profit.
Health before wealth.
Health before profit.
Health before profit. We are at the PR firm Porto-Novelli, and I'm going to hand the mic over to Justin Rubin from Pesticide Watch and Californians for Pesticide Reform.
My name is Justin Rubin. I work with Pesticide Watch, and I'm here representing also the over 100 groups in Californians for Pesticide Reform. And right now we're in front of the public relations giant Porto-Novelli, which is the 4th largest PR firm in the world, or in the nation, excuse me. I want to tell you a story about Porto-Novelli. In 1993, pesticide manufacturers and agribusiness companies that were Porto-Novelli's paying clients found out that PBS was going to air a documentary linking pesticides in food to cancer in children. And they were worried, so they went to Porto-Novelli, their liars for hire. And Porto-Novelli went to the American Cancer Society, who had been getting free public relations representation from Porto-Novelli for over 20 years. And Porto-Novelli, on behalf of its paying clients, convinced the American Cancer Society to issue a memo calling the allegations in the TV show unfounded. There's 2 points I want to make here today, and they're both pretty simple. One is that pesticides cause cancer, and they're being dumped into our air and our water and our communities in increasing quantities. And the second point is that pesticide manufacturers use PR scams like the story I just told, and like National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, to pull the wool over our eyes and to distract the public from the link between skyrocketing cancer rates and pesticides and other poisons in our air and water. And at the same time, many of those companies actually profit from treating and detecting cancer.
Worst of another family from Watson over to where we are, the Central Coast agricultural rural community. And, every shift from there on was, Watsonville, yeah, we're familiar with Watsonville. And, we started to think, well, why are they mentioning our community so much? And it's because so many of our children get cancer, and it's because of all the pesticides that are used around our community. We met many families there from the surrounding communities, which are also all agricultural based, from Castroville, Santa Cruz, Salinas, Greenfield. They're all little communities with a lot of sick children dying from cancer. And we would talk sometimes and ask, why do we have so much cancer among us? And, we wonder, why aren't they investigating? Why aren't they doing something about this? Who's researching? And we would go to our local legislators and politicians that, they don't know what causes cancer, and the local health people don't know what causes cancer. The ag people deny that it comes from the pesticides and chemicals that are used. But, it's just too much of a coincidence. And we would talk about how, perhaps there was some kind of a link between the pesticide industry and the hospitals and the insurance companies and, the toxins that they use to kill the cancer. And I, recently am finding out that that is true. It's the same companies who make the pesticides who profit from the healing of the cancers. And anyway, I'm really happy to see that people are getting together and communicating about this. And, I saw children that were 3 months old, 2 years old, with needles stuck up their necks because their veins weren't big enough for the needles to go in and get the treatment. And it's a horrific sight to see these beautiful, bright, intelligent children die because someone is making millions and billions of dollars off our suffering. So please.
We're going to go visit the nuclear industry now. Do we have energy for that? All right. We're just going to go across Market here down to Beale, and we're going to visit Bechtel.
Hey, Bechtel, where's your heart?
Hey, Bechtel, where's your heart? And we're going to get from Sally White with Tri-Valley Cares, who's going to tell us a little bit about Bechtel and also the Lawrence Livermore Lab.
One of the things I wanted to mention today is that we are lucky in the fact that Bechtel miscalculated about where to put their international headquarters. It's right here in San Francisco, the country's activist city. And we are going to continue having actions out here every time any kind of test is detonated at the Nevada test site. We need more numbers. We need a mass movement in this country once again. The truth about the amount of radioactive waste spilled out all over the planet has yet to be revealed. I can't talk, I don't have a whole lot of time, but people, please feel free to come up and talk to me afterwards. And I have a clipboard for names and numbers, and anybody who wants to, I will make sure that you'll be informed of the next time there's a test out there in Nevada, and we can come here and do our thing. Thank you.
All right, we have one stop away, and it's right across the street. I can see it from here. PG+E.
Hey, PG+E, don't you know?
Toxic pollution's got to go!
Here we are at PG+E, cancer emergence. If you want to locate an earthquake fault in California, just watch where PG+E builds a nuclear power plant. Diablo Canyon, on top of a nuclear power plant. Humboldt Bay, on top of a nuclear power plant. What do they want to do with their waste from these nuclear power plants? Waste that will last thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. They want to bury them in shallow, unlined trenches above an aquifer 20 miles from the Colorado River, in the midst of critical habitat for an endangered species, and on land considered sacred by 5 Indian tribes. That's PG+E, and they have lobbyists, full-time lobbyists in Washington, D.C. and Sacramento to try to make this a reality. But are we going to win at Orange Valley? Yeah! Yes! I want to talk just for a moment about a tremendous victory that we should all know about. There was a proposal for a nuclear waste dump in Texas at a place called Sierra Blanca, 16 miles from the Rio Grande River, right on top of an earthquake fault, right near a predominantly poor Mexican-American community. Does this sound familiar?
Yeah!
The people of Sierra Blanca 3 days ago were successful in stopping that nuclear dump down there. And one of these days, not too far from now, we're going to be able to stand here and say that the people were able to stop the nuclear dump at Ward Valley.
Everybody, this is a vital coalition, and we want to build this movement. We want to have double as many people next time. When Alex Mark Revolution, we have a little band, and at the end, we want to get everyone singing.
too far. We won't turn around. We'll flood the streets with justice. We are freedom bound.